Okay.
So I thought Brilliant Directories had a how-to on this one, and it seems that they do not. So we're going to kind of walk through how to actually execute a tag cloud. And I just want to, I'm going to kind of show you one here on how it executes. Actually, I'm just going to use my site because I did some for some other sites. I don't have permission to show that, so I won't do that on today's episode here. But I just want to show you an example one. This one's on the side for me. I'll show you where we're going to do it for Frank's site today, and it's going to be a little bit different. But this is what I mean by a tag cloud, where you basically just have buttons with keyword or search result entries that you basically add into a little matrix here, tag cloud, either there or at the top of the search results. And then they can one-click go to those search results, and they just call it a tag cloud. It's probably not maybe what you're thinking about tag cloud, but it's customizable, and you can add that in there. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and we're going to do one live on Frank's item. So let's go. I'm going to do it on his back end here. Frank, you want to do, let's see, do you want to do just a category breakdown for one of your categories? Is that
right? But eventually, isn't there a way to just do them all in one fell swoop?
No, there's not. No, it's not. This is all manual. It's not dynamic either. So
you do the top level categories, all the sub levels fall into place.
No. So this is a manual process for each tag cloud you're doing.
Wow.
So, and you guys can use it if you want. It's just an availability. Again, I would call this a workaround, basically, where you're able to do some stuff inside the system, just how it's built up, and it can do stuff like I showed you there. But it's not dynamic. It's not a feature of the website. It's just something you can do inside the capability with just a little bit of code. So does that clarify?
So is this like related searches idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is automatic. So if let me go to the related searches, that's kind of like a related article, right? There's also I don't think, Frank, you have it. Oh yeah, it is. Related searches, right? Well, this dynamically pulls that, but it's the same thing, only it's not. This is basically pulling parts of your listing. So this is a business in the signs and billboards category. It's a business in Vineland, and it's a business in New Jersey. So it's basically doing kind of a combination of signs and billboards in Vineland. So you can then one click and go to, and this is a search result, whereas New Jersey, Vineland, that signs and billboards, and there's only one of these in this database at least, but it breaks it down. And so it's similar to that, but what this is basically, you can have that's dynamic. This one you can have preset buttons for whatever you want. I had mine as filtered by food type, or you can do it for categories and subcategories. So the one I'm going to do today on Frank's site, I'm just going to pick. Let's do your food and drink, Frank. We'll do that one and do a demo from that on how to do that. So I'm going to make a tag cloud for that. What you want to do is you want to go to your set. And if you guys want to log into yours and do it as we go along, feel free to do that. And then you guys can all make one on the follow along class today. So just go to Toolbox, Member Manager, and then all you want to do is create a new menu. And so you can call it whatever you want. I recommend, if you're going to do it, I would just call it something that you can find later. So I'm just going to call this food tag cloud. And that's going to be for that, let's say, food category tag cloud. So I know it's not anything other than food, it's food categories. And then system name, you can name this whatever you want. It's got to be continuous, and you can't have any spaces in there. So I'm just going to call it food _ tag cloud. And you can name it whatever you want. And then this is the key on the CSS class, and this is what Brilliant Directories added for us. So it's kind of easy, one click add for the menu format on this. Just type in tag cloud, and it should already be in everybody's directory if you got all the current updates. So this tag -cloud for the CSS class. It's optional, but that one does all the magic or most of the magic for us. So hit save and continue. It'll make that tag cloud, and there you go for that. So now you're going to want to go in and edit. Edit that, and then you're just gonna add different menu choices. So the way this is set up is it's set up in rows basically. So if you saw the example I gave here, this is a row, or you can add a title in there. I'm going to show you how to do that. You don't have to have a title. If you don't have that in there, it's just if you add button lines, it'll just add the buttons in there. So when you're adding this in the back end here, this first menu item is going to be the title. Whatever, if you do want a title, that's what it will be. So you don't have to name it, but we're going to go ahead and do that today. So I'm just going to call this search by. Search by subcategory, right? Because we're gonna do those categories, and what you want to do on that for that particular item, we want that to go the full width, right? So that because if you don't have a full width, it's going to move one of these up there potentially. You basically need a break in there. So what you want to do is in the outer list CSS class here, just put button block, and that should stretch it out so it goes the whole width. And then that's all you need to do for that one. So you can hit save changes. So now that's our search by subcategory label. Now all you just need to do is add a new link, and you guys can do this on your own. Just grab it from the actual items here. You're just gonna copy each one of these and add it in there. And so I'm just gonna do that real quick. Just bear with me while I do this on the demo here, and you can do this on yours later. And obviously, the longer it is, the longer it's going to take you.
Why is the adding URL an optional choice?
Because you can just have a button or a list. It doesn't have to have a link. Think of this is the same thing that you guys use for your pricing menu, right? So every one of those line items on your pricing menu doesn't have a link, right? It's just text. For this one, it is going to have a link, right? Because it's a tag cloud. You're in this case you want everything to have a link. So I'm just going to right click on there and copy the link address, and you can add that in there. You don't need any of the website. Just do it with the trailing slash there, right. and then save that for all of those. So we'll do that to all 8 of these as well. And so the good thing about this, because we're basically going to make this menu, and we're going to make it into a widget. And so the cool thing about that is you're going to be able to put that wherever you want. Looks like I skipped one there. Would I get groceries?
Convenience.
Oh, it looks like I skipped one way back here. Caterers food products. That's what I missed. So because we're going to put it in a widget, you can add it wherever you want. So it's kind of dynamic, I guess, in terms of whatever you guys use this for. You don't have to do subcategories. You can do any particular link set for your website. It could be any topic set or any, I guess, quick link examples where you want to have fast action links to certain key pages. Then you could just put it wherever you want because it's going to be in a widget. So there's that. We got all of the links now. The one other thing that you want to do is that you need to change the look of the particular the actual button. And so you're going to want to put it. Hold on a sec. You're going to want to put the button code here. So it's going to be, you want to put the button in the menu class button and then button dash. We're just going to use success. And so this is where you have the colors in here for your thing. So if you want primary, you can put primary. If you want the danger code or whatever, that's where you're going to put that. And I'm doing this off from memory, actually, because I'll double check if it doesn't look right. We'll figure out where it goes. But I think that's where. Was that?
That should work out well.
Yeah, it always works out. And that's what I said to do on the fly. So we kind of did this right beforehand. So anyway, so there you go. That's the menu item. So now this one's going to be, as you see, there's no button here. It's going to be kind of just text. That's going to be the full width. And then these are just going to stack in line. It's going to be the button class. And then it's going to be that color. And we'll go ahead and save that. So now that is in a menu, we're going to go ahead and copy that. And we're going to go ahead and make a widget. And the reason we want to put it in a widget is because now we have a menu, but we want to add the widget because now we can put stuff around that menu or code it a little bit more. So I'm just going to throw that tag cloud in there that you guys copied there. I'm going to call this the food widget. Or food tag cloud widget. And again, I always name these however you want, so you can find them later. Really? And I always add custom to mine if I'm doing custom. That way I can just type in the search word custom, and then anything I've edited for myself outside of BD automatically filters out all of those just by mine. So it's just kind of a tip I do. You can do whatever you want. Custom food tag cloud widget. And then if you do that, it's just going to put the thing, but I like to put it in like a little box, just so it's a little bit easier to see. And this is going to be a really simple code for you guys to do. And I'll just say it off the screen. It's pretty simple to do. It's just div space class equals quotation module quotation, and then the caret, and then you just do the / div on the other side of that. So div class module, and then div. So now that basically just wraps it and puts it in. Basically, that's that module is that little box, the white box. So instead of just being that on the gray, it's now adding it to a little module box like that.
Nice.
And so that's it. Hit save changes. Now, after you guys make that widget code, you're just going to want to copy that widget short code. It's going to pop up here, and you just want to copy that short code. Now that you've made the widget, now we need to add the widget to the search results. So we're already here. Let's go to food drink. I want to go to this page where we want to add it. And what we're basically going to do is make a dynamic ad here at the top with our tag cloud for that directory result category only. So what you want to do is on your page, you want to go here and click that create static page. What it's going to do is going to open up, and we've gone over this in previous webinars. It's going to go to this page where you add the static page. And so what we're going to go over here is several steps, but you got to do them all in order for it to post properly. You need to go to the page type and go to member search results, because you're basically doing a search result. And then down here in display settings, it's going to normally be inside a tab. And what that does is it basically adds another tab here, but we don't want that. We want it to show without having to click anything. So what you want to do is go above body content, and what that'll do is it'll put right above all the stuff. If it's below or above the listings, it'll go like right here underneath the title. We want that to go above, not in between. So we're going to pick the above body content. That would be above member results, would be that in between one. So above body content, and then it automatically strips out the member the sidebar. So you have to add this back in, otherwise it'll go full width. So you'll be missing your sidebar if you don't do this. So I'm doing the member search result because it's just a listing search result. Click that, and then I'm going to go into that code view, click it, and I'm going to paste that widget code that I had just made, and then now when I do that, I'm going to add this in. And I had an issue with another site earlier today that was not rendering this widget code, and it looks like that's going to do that to me again this morning. So this is probably not going to work. I'm just throwing this out there right now, but because they were having a problem on the back end. So the next thing you have to do is copy this food or drink and put that in there, because we're basically telling the page, hey, for this particular search result, i.e. This one, food or drink, and you can do it for any search result, but it's got to be that pretty URL, not the search result with TID and SID. It's got to be the pretty URL. That's what I want to save, and then just hit save web page. So it's probably not going to work because I'm just not seeing it there either. Oh, it does. Disregard.
Ooh, that's nice.
Worked like a charm.
Except for the
so I thought it wasn't show. Normally it would show potentially the widget code there, like it'll swap it out there just to see it, but it looks like they just changed the way it was working there, so it works fine.
And where do you
now? Go ahead.
Where do you change the color?
The color
of the buttons.
Okay, so this is the default settings, like I was saying. So if you guys go into your settings and design settings, in your tab for the color, it's going to be in the bottom right hand side for the color defaults. It'll be for the default button link colors right there, button link colors. And these are all the default ones in your thing. So if you want that color, what color do you want, Frank?
Well, wait a minute. Yeah, I wanted the purple.
You want the buttons to be purple?
Yeah.
Okay. So so he has primary. Primary is the color, right? So primary. So go back to your whatever you guys want. It would be default, success, info. So I did success. So that's the button color that came up. Info, primary, warning, danger, default. And then go back into your toolbox and menu manager, and in that spot where it said button dash whatever, that's where you want to change it. And so you can alternate, you could do alternating colors if you wanted. You wanted the purple, right? So primary.
Yep. So
I'm just going to copy that. So every one of these, and again, if you do that first and then you clone it, it'll already carry that over. So as an example, I'd always add a bunch of or add that first, clone it out, and then I'd add a bunch of them with that clone and use that as a baseline. And it's a lot easier to delete them than to add them later. And then you can clone that tag cloud a bunch of times just because it has a bunch of extra ones in there. And then you can just delete them if the one that you're making doesn't have as many. That's what I would recommend. And then, so you just change that and then save changes. And so now when we go, make sure that saved first. Okay, so now when we refresh this, it'll be the purple buttons with the white text that he wanted.
Oh, loving that.
So one of the other things is it's not centered on there, so that's something else you can do as well with just some modifications of the CSS code.
Yes, there's a word for that. You know what that word is?
Center?
Mandatory.
The centering is mandatory?
Always.
Okay. Sounds good. So I'll show you how to do that. In the widget code, let's go back to the widget toolbox widget manager. We're going to go into that custom tag cloud widget. So we're going to edit that. In the CSS code.
That's where the code was, right?
What was that?
That's where the box code was, right?
Well, that's where we added the just the module and then tag cloud. Yeah. So you can add this one to it. The div class. This is what we want. The text center. So it's dot text center. And then you guys can watch the video, or I'll put this in the post as well. This is kind of the longer one. Just text align center, add that in there, and that's what we're going to reference, that text center tag in there. So we're going to save that, and we're going to go back into the menu, and we're basically going to tell that we want that menu to be centered, basically.
I could just pay you to do this, right, Ryan?
That's my goal, really. I make it sound as complicated as it can be, so nobody wants to do it on their own. That was the goal for today. No, I'm just joking. So,
That
sorry.
worked out perfectly. I got to go make my call now. I just
Okay.
got an email. Thank you very
right.
much, Ryan.
Yeah. Thanks.
I'll check. I don't think you'll be done before I'm done, so I'll come back.
Okay. We might.
Bye bye.
All right. So this is where we want to call that text center thing that we just did. So we're basically saying, hey, in this div, we're going to center the text, and by doing that's using that text center CSS code we just put in there to center the text, and I think this will work.
Hey Ryan, can you just do that on the HTML tab and just do center and then instead of doing it in the CSS?
Yeah, the center doesn't work for the text, but it doesn't work for the div. So
gotcha. Okay.
You can do that in the around the actual wording. I definitely can. So he's asking I'll show you that in a second. That's what originally I was going to do, but we'll see. We'll see if this. I'll see if this works first.
I am not a coder, and I didn't even sleep. Didn't even sleep at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Okay, you didn't? Okay, well, and nobody's staying at any hotel there recently. There we go. So now it's centered, and then you can also, that looks a little subdued. So I'm just going to go back in there, and this is actually going to do in the menu manager, change the text there. And what Scott, you were asking, you could wrap that div here, the div class text center around that, and that would work as well. And so this takes HTML in there, so I'm just going to do strong. That's just kind of like the new bold. Put that in there, and we'll save that. And then we'll refresh that, and hopefully that'll be a bold search by subcategory. There we go. So now, not only can you do that, but you can also add in font awesome icon. So let's say we want search by subcategory. Let's say we want a search icon in front of that. I'm just going to add in the I class equals FA-search, the standard font awesome text. I'm going to add a space in front of that. And just by doing that, you can change that to whatever font awesome you want. And I do have an article on directorytoolkit.com in the articles. You can just scroll through the articles, and there's a font awesome one with all the lists and the images if you guys want to look at that. But we're just going to save that, and I'm going to refresh that. And all that does is it just adds a little search icon in front of that. So it looks like, you can click to search. So now just with that little bit, and I mean, it took a little bit of coding, right, and a little bit of finesse, but it's not a plugin. You don't have to get too fancy. The fancy stuff's kind of built into that tag CSS code that they did, so it's a little bit easier for everybody. But now, once you get one down, you can clone this one and just change the links and names, and now you have a new widget, and then just clone the widget. Replace the tag, the menu name in that widget. So once you get it down once, you can just start replicating it. And now Frank's got this inside of his restaurant. So if somebody clicks on food or drinks and gets here from his menu, now they can go, oh, I want to know restaurants. And so from 31 results, it's going to go down to 19, right? Because now I'm just looking at all the restaurants. And so now again, you could. Since I don't have that tag cloud on this page because I didn't make a static page, again, it's a little bit of work, but now I can go make a static page of that food and drinks / restaurants and paste in that exact same tag cloud that I just did. And so I'm just going to do that one real quick as a demo again. So I'm going to go show you guys how to do this again. Walk through. I click that. I go to member search results. I go to display settings. I go to above body content. I go to a member search result. And now I'm going to go back to that. And again, you can just already have this copied. So you can get back to it. But I'm going to go to the widget manager here. Grab that food tag cloud, copy shortcode. Going to paste that back into the code. And then I'm going to go grab that food or drink restaurants that we just talked about and add it there. So that's kind of the steps. 1, 2, 3, paste it in and that. and we'll save page for that. And now I have a static page for that one. And then again, if we refresh this one, we should have that tag cloud on that static page.
Wonderful.
So now one of the things that I recommend doing, which I didn't do in here, you notice I don't really have a back button because all I have is the subcategories. I don't have a button to go back to all food. And so let me just show you how to do that real quick. Again, you can go straight back into that menu manager that you made and just say, oh, I want to add that. It's going to be dynamic when you go do that because you're just editing that. So I'm going to go back and edit this, and I want to add it in front of that. So I'm just going to clone this menu, and I want this to be all food, and so instead of going to the subcategory, I'm just going to make that the main category, and then to offset it, I am going to make this one green because I want it to stand out. It's kind of the header category. Frank may want to change this later when he comes back. I'll show it to him, so I want that a different color. Now I'm just going to save those changes, and whatever this is all dynamic because it's pulling it off the widget. Whatever I just did there, it's gonna change on all the pages. So now I'm in the food or drink category. I now have an all food. It actually looks better because it's full width now. But if I go into restaurants, now I was already in restaurants. Sorry, I'm gonna go back to all food. And now I kind of have a back button. I'm back in all food results. Now I can go into, food product or caterers. I don't know if he has any. So there's one caterer. And again, now I'm on this other side. I'd have to do that again on this page. But again, you only have to do it once. And it's an iterative process for these directories a lot of times. So just add a little bit at a time. But by doing that, you just added a whole bunch of functionality to your website. And it just looks a lot better. And the cool thing about this one is as well, guys, is that you can, because this is above that, it's not in a sidebar, and it'll actually show up on your mobile at the top. So you notice now when you show on mobile, all that sidebar search engine is way at the bottom. They have to scroll through your entire site to get to the search bar. Now your tag cloud is up at the top. And they can just start seeing the search results, or they can click to their those quick tabs. So